In today's video, I'm going to take you along for a dry run, or I shall say a wet run, of an SHTF situation. We are staying busy with food preservation. We are getting all the things done and making sure we're prepared for hurricane season. This weekend alone, we've dealt with power outages and flooding, so come along with us. We're also going to be making some slow cooker carnitas, as well as a bagel and lox spread that I've never had before, but it was absolutely delicious, so come along and join us. We lost power about 4 o'clock in the morning, so I couldn't even get the refrigerator water to work because all power was out. Thankfully, we do have a gas stove that I was able to light, and I went ahead and just made Olivia's breakfast. She wanted some of these vegetarian sausages, so I was able to heat them up on the stovetop. Since my electric kettle wasn't working either, I just went ahead and boiled some of our filtered Berkey water on the stovetop, and fortunately we had meal prepped these biscuits for Olivia's breakfast. And I just was thankful that we have things that we can make. We have different alternative cooking methods for when we use the power. We've got some smaller generators that we can plug certain things in, like our phones to charge, and the microwave if we needed to use that, which I'm trying to slow down on using our microwave anyway. But it just really got me thinking, wanting to make sure that our pantry is stocked full of breakfast items like granola bars, cereal, in case of an emergency. So we have been without power for 8 hours and 20 minutes. We lost power around 4 something this morning when we had a storm and we were in the middle of freeze drying. The cool thing about the freeze dryer though is it will let you know how much time you lost. You see where it says power outages 1, time it says 8:20, so we lost 8 hours and 20 minutes. I happened to be driving by the boat ramps near our house and noticed that the water was rising. I knew that this was not a result of the storm the night before and that they must be releasing water from the dam. So I went and drove around the area to check out the water levels because I knew that we were due to have a big storm coming in our way. This is me standing under the San Jacinto River Bridge. The water levels are low now, but here is the aftermath, and I'm going to show you what we went through. We started just going through the hurricane checklist procedures, making sure generators were working and we had enough water on hand.
This is a water heater, and then this is a cooking set. Matches, wind-up clock, some propane.
Corey was just going over some additional supplies we have in our first aid storage, such as tick removal, glue for when you chip a tooth, and different things like that. These are different preps than what we have in our over-the-counter preps in my kitchen. He was just in a big hurry, so I was trying to keep up with him. Ponchos, yeah, we got all these things from the Dollar Tree. Hand sanitizers. We've got a over-the-counter kit in our kitchen, but I could probably use that right now. It's something you hope you don't need, but when I broke both of my feet at the same time, falling down the stairs, I just went ahead and kept this in case I need it again. And then over here, this is if you have to do your laundry and you can't use your washer and dryer because you don't have electricity. Those are some tents that I think I got for under $20 if we ever lost power during the winter and needed to huddle in the living room and kind of camp out and use each other's body heat. But here in Texas, I don't think that'll be an issue. We got the water bob, which is like a water bladder
With liners.
5-gallon bucket, and then a toilet seat. Here is our portable pop-up. I guess this is supposed to be a makeshift Oh, shower. I
And
thought
the
it was like a
water heater that goes
restroom.
with it.
Sorry, we're talking fast and at the same
Water
time.
pump.
We got fans up here, cast iron Dutch oven. Can take this camping, but it's good to have several different methods to prepare your food if you lose power and can't use your oven. Things from the Dollar Tree that I totally forgot what they were. It's pretty nifty.
You get a whole bunch of them.
Was that those door alarms? Plug-in? What kind of plug-in? Oh,
Wall
those are
tap,
lights.
Tap it. There's a night light.
Tarps. Queen Bee is completely unbothered by any loss of power or any storm preparations. We got a busy day ahead of us, so carnitas in the slow cooker it is. Corey is just rubbing some of the citrus garlic rub from Trader Joe's on it, and he is going to add a little bit of his own seasonings, a little Mexican oregano. He's going to pour in a can of Pepsi just to help tenderize the meat, a little bit of orange juice, along with some onions, some garlic, and he's going to also cut up some oranges and some limes to give it that nice citrus taste. The thing that drew me to Kingwood was the fact that it was once known as the livable forest. It had trees everywhere, but they have taken so many of these trees down to put up buildings, and I get it, progress, that's the way of the future and whatever, but it just seems like no place is sacred anymore where you can just move and it stay the same. And a lot of this development where they've taken the trees out, which can no longer soak up the water when we have heavy rainstorms, and we are kind of sandwiched between the San Jacinto River, Lake Houston, and just the rain has nowhere to go. And our street is always one of the first ones to flood. We couldn't even get out to go pick up Olivia, who got off work early. We were very thankful that somebody from her work gave her a ride home. They had to drop her off about 5 houses down, and she had to walk home because they literally could not get on our street. It was a nightmare. Our town has barely recovered from Hurricane Harvey in 2017. A lot of businesses never came back, and a lot of schools were damaged. A lot of people who didn't have insurance on their homes just walked away from their homes. It's such a mess when people drive down the streets and you've got water coming up in your yard. It gets pushed further and further closer to your house. It's just really unsettling times, and we've got bridges that people have to go over to get to and from work, and then when they close those bridges down, it just makes it a complete mess. We let stranded motorists park in our driveway because it was on higher ground, and brought them water and snacks. So many of them were trying to get to schools to pick up their kids. Oh, that's Hamblin Road, yep.
Here in the Kingwood area, I'm going to recap what we saw all day. When we got here earlier this morning, it was
I recognize the house on stilts.
We saw a lot of stalled vehicles due to these flooded roads, and this has been the reality here in Kingwood. Go ahead and take a look.
That's our neighborhood, I think.
Completely flooded. Have a couple cars down there stalled. That's just what we've seen.
Yeah, that's by the San Jacinto.
We saw Mayor John Whitmire come here and take a look for himself. The situation that the Kingwood area has been seeing. We're seeing a house right there. You can see that it is not completely submerged in the water, but the water has risen here in this area. Now, we've also spoken with the Kingwood residents here who tell me that this is reminiscent of Hurricane Harvey.
I forgot to film the assembling of the carnitas, but let me tell you, These were absolutely delicious. After dinner, I had a slight sweet tooth, so I had one of these Island Way sorbets. Olivia has been seeing them all over TikTok. I had them about a year or so ago at a farmer's market, and what they do is they put this sherbet or sorbet into these little fruit skins. They are so good and addictive. Here we go with another rainstorm. So Corey is about to vacuum seal our leftover carnitas. This was a really big roast, and I think we ate it multiple meals a day for a couple days in a row. We're a little burnout, but we're going to go ahead and just vacuum seal and freeze the rest. He also brought back some boudin from when we went to a camping trip in Louisiana. We're going to go ahead and seal that as well. Okay, the next morning, I know it looks like I'm using a lot of stuff in my coffee, but I promise you I'm just using a little bit of each thing. This is the Chobani cookie dough coffee creamer. This stuff is so good. I'm just going to use a few little drops of that. And then I also have marshmallow flavored cold foam as well as marshmallow flavored whipped cream. Hey guys, I'm under stress. It's been a stressful couple of days, so cut me a little bit of slack. For breakfast this morning, Corey has been craving lox and bagels, and we decided to try something new. We were going to do a lox spread, if you will. We just cut up some cucumbers, diced them up real fine, and then we took the salmon and did the same with that. We just cut it up into small little bite-sized pieces. I personally hate when I'm eating a piece of salmon on my bagel and it gets all caught up in my front teeth. But we went and picked some dill off of our little plant and diced that up real well. And then Corey is going to add some capers, and we're going to throw in some of the everything bagel Asiago cheese not spread, but seasonings that we got at Aldi. And then we're going to just put in a couple of tablespoons of plain cream cheese. And then we had a couple of bagels here, the jalapeno cheddar from HEB. We're just going to toast those and add the mixture onto that. And then I just put a little bit of extra Asiago everything bagel seasoning on top of mine for a little added crunch. It was delicious. We are cleaning out the refrigerator, so I have all these coffee creamers we're going to throw on the freeze dryer. We have the Eggo waffle, which is like a maple syrup flavor. Got mint chip, which is an oat milk. From what I understand, this freeze dries the best. It has the least amount of fat in it. And then for the Chobani creamers, we have cinnamon coffee cake and cookie dough. I'm going to go ahead and mix these together. It doesn't bother me. We only have 3 trays, so let's get this going. We decided to drive around our town and check out the water levels. We are in Kings Harbor, which is just a cluster of some townhomes and some restaurants and some little mom and pop small businesses. So here on the waterfront are a few restaurants. There is Zamidi's, Rafa's, Sharky's, Chimichurri's, which is our favorite restaurant. And then there's a somewhat new place on the end that sells tacos. I cannot remember the name. This is Westlake Houston. This bridge connects our town of Kingwood over to Atascocita and Humble. I could see the water rising up as I was filming, and you can see the dock completely submerged as well as the walkway where all those plants are. And this area did flood in Hurricane Harvey, so we're hoping that won't happen this time. Next, we went down Hamblin Road. This is one of the lowest lying places in Kingwood, closest to the San Jacinto River. the Cove Wine Bar there. That's one of our new favorite places. We just went there for the first time last week, and they did end up getting some water. A lot of this area was blocked off. There were news crews there, and you just couldn't get by. The water was too high in certain areas. This is Woodland Hills Drive, which connects to River Grove Park. This is where I was showing you pictures of earlier in my video. Grocery stores were closing early. We knew we were low on cat and dog food, so we made a run to the store and it started raining yet again. When the rain let up, we headed over to Royal Shores Park, and this is in the back of Kingwood. As you can see, the pier is completely underwater. This area is near the horse stables and the sports complex. It's a pond, but you are supposed to be able to walk all the way around it. You can't really tell, so for reference, that right there to your right is a park bench. The message of this video today is to just make sure that you are prepared for any SHTF situation that may happen in your town. For us, this was a reminder of Hurricane Harvey and had some elements of the pandemic of 2020. We had grocery stores that closed. We had pharmacies that were closed for a couple of days. So it's an important reminder to stay stocked up on your food, your necessities, your prescription medication. This was the highway that we were supposed to go on to go camping. Luckily, we stayed home this weekend. Hope that everybody is staying safe and blessed.